Hey guys, I'm here. Sorry, I'm late, but I'm late. So, no worries. I'm here now. So, all right, guys. So, for those of you who are new to the lives, this is your opportunity to ask me whatever questions you want to ask me about. So, go ahead and put your questions in the comment section below. Please be specific with your questions so that way I know what you're asking me about. Don't assume that I can read minds or I can know everything or see everything, because psychics do not. We can only sense things, and there's a big difference. And so, I focus my attention on your question, and I focus my attention on what you want to know, and I try to get as much information as I can to give that information to you. If you are wanting to connect with the loved one in spirit, who do you want to connect to? And then I will try to connect to that person and give you any information that might help you to know that they're with you, or even just any signs to look out for, etc. If you are on Instagram, you can request to be a video guest on here. So right down here, there's a little button that allows you to click it, and then you can request to be a video guest, so you can come on video with me. And I'll pick a few video people before I get off tonight. If you are on Facebook, or if you're on Twitter, or on YouTube, it's only comment based questions. So just FYI, so if you want to be on video, you got to get over to Instagram. Also, if you want to know about me and what do I do, what do I offer, etc., just head over to my website, fernandomarone.com. Everything you need to know is on there. All of my freebies are on there, etc. If you are on social media and you ever get messaged by anyone that has a different name than mine right here, mine is Ferny ESP. So anybody who messages you that is not Ferny ESP, my exact name, and they're asking you if you want a reading, and then they're offering to read you for money, that is not me. Those are scammers. They will take your money. So just FYI, guys, because that happens. And there was already somebody this week who was trying to pretend to be me, and they had my name spelled Pernando, and they had, instead of saying psychic, they had physics. So I don't know what was going on there, but that was kind of funny. Barbie was like, she thought that was hysterical. I thought it was hysterical because I was like, what? They're not even picking, they're not even choosing the right word. So what the hell is that all about? Of course, every week I am doing a raffle, and every month I am doing a free raffle, which means if you want to enter the contest to win this month's free raffle, you get to, and the whoever gets selected will win a free private one-on-one session with me, a full actual session. Every month I give one away. So this month I'm giving one away as well. And if you want to enter to win, I need you to do three things. I need you to first tag a friend in the comments in whatever platform you're using. Tag a friend, someone that who you think might be interested in having a session with me as well, or want to participate in the lives. Also, this video right here, you send this video to people that follow you, or people in your feed. So send the video out to people as well. So that's number 2. Number 3 is I just need you to sign up with my Dear Ferny newsletter on my website. You just go to fernandomarone.com and go down, and you can sign up for the Dear Ferny newsletter. That's it. That's those 3 things that I need you to do. So and every month I'm going to pick a new winner. So if you haven't already entered, you can still enter, and that's the way that you do it. Okay. All right. So let's get started here. So my statements are personal opinions, not guaranteed future events. Whatever decisions or actions you take, you are 100% responsible and liable for those. You can change your future. It's never set in stone. And I'm not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or law enforcement official. You can still ask me those kinds of questions, but for legal medical advice or treatment, you should always consult with a licensed professional. All right, so let's go through here. I'm not going in any particular order, so I'm just going to bounce around. If you ask a vague or general question, I'm going to skip you because I don't have the energy to figure out what you want to know. I need you just to kind of spit out what you want to know, okay? All right, so yeah, Miriam, I am planning on applying for a position at Care First. Do you think I'll get the job? When will I start? I don't feel that you will get an opportunity through Care First. I would still apply, just because I feel like with that organization, I feel like they're also partnering up or teaming up, because their hiring manager, or the individual that you would be dealing with who's responsible for the hiring. I almost feel like it's a third party organization that's also trying to do it with 3 other organizations. So even if you apply with one organization and you don't get in with that organization for whatever reason, there's these other options that may be tied to the same organization through the way that the hiring is done. So I would give it a go, give it a shot, go for it. I feel like you won't be hired on with Care First directly, but with like a subsidiary or with another organization that still has that kind of a relationship with them. Okay, so give it a go. The starting period, I feel like it would take 2 months though. So you might have to wait a couple of months before that would start. Veronica, yesterday was my daughter's 16 years of her passing. Any messages for my daughter, please? Yes. She's showing me wings and jewelry. So I don't know if you have like angel wings in a piece of like jewelry, like pendant or in like a necklace, but she's showing me something that reminds me of like angel wings. So that might be a connection to her. She also keeps acknowledging the 23rd. So the 23rd of a month might be significant. It's funny because I feel like she's trying to tell me that she's with an older male. And she's connecting that number to the older male actually. So that could potentially be connected to another relative who has passed away as well. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. You know how sometimes people will hang up something that makes sounds like wind chimes or like ornaments? She's like doing this. So I don't know if you just hung something up that is connected to her, or if you actually put up wind chimes and you were thinking of her when you put them up, but she's making a reference to something like that as well. Okay. Yeah, Jackie Heron. Do you see my husband who passed on around the family? So with your husband, the first thing he's acknowledging, it's interesting. I'm almost thinking of like boxing, the sport boxing, like whenever you're like doing boxing or whatever. I don't know if there's a joke about this and he's like doing this, or there was actually a thing about boxing and doing like, because I'm seeing Rocky. So there's a reference to that. So he's acknowledging that. He's also showing me the number 20, it's either the 2nd or the 20th, because I was seeing 2, but then I saw a 0. So I'm assuming he's talking about the 20th. So I'm going to say either he's referring to the 20th of a month, or the 2nd is significant, or the month of February. But I'm thinking he's the 20th because I was thinking that's where he was going with it. He also keeps acknowledging there might be a picture of him when he was younger, and he's kind of being goofy, or he's kind of pretending to be someone he's not in the picture, but he's almost dressed or looking very different from himself. And he's almost acknowledging like the journey from where he was then to like when you and he were together. So he's acknowledging like the journey. He also keeps thinking, he is also showing me the month of December. So December may be significant, or the 12th of a month may also be significant. There's also a baby with him in spirit. Is there a baby with him in spirit? It's either a baby with him. Well, yeah, he could be, because he's making a symbol for a baby, which could be a baby that was with him that's miscarried, lost, or terminated, or he knows there's a baby coming in. That y'all may be aware, but he was making that gesture. So I'm thinking he's talking about one that's with him in spirit. Okay. Yes, Aaron. Yeah, the scammers, they're like, it's like a monthly thing. I try to post something about it at least once a month, because it's become that kind of a thing where every 2 or 3 weeks they're trying to like engage with people to get them to buy, to give them money. And so I'm always trying to tell people, like, I don't operate that way. I don't go asking you to buy stuff from me. Like, I tell God, send me the people I'm supposed to help. And if I'm not supposed to help them, then I'm not going to go out and grab a bunch of people that need to pay me. Like, it doesn't work that way for me. I've always had an agreement, God, if I'm supposed to do this, send them to me, which is how it's always worked. So people reaching out to you to buy services, that's not the way I roll. Leticia, hi, I would like to connect with my brother who we lost in June of this year, please. Yes. He's showing me that date, but he's also giving it to me twice. So I don't know if there's an additional date in June that he's wanting to make reference to or bring to my attention, or if there was two events around the same time, because he's almost acknowledging something like that. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He's repeating his name. So I want to say that there's 3 versions of his name, and it may not even be the exact same version, but it's almost like there's 3 versions or types where he's acknowledging the repeating name as well. He also keeps showing me a picture of him, and I feel like in the picture he's got red, white, and blue, or he's wearing like a flag, because I'm almost seeing red, white, and blue and a flag. So there might be a picture of him wearing a shirt or something that's got like the red, white, and blue vibe to it as well. He's also doing this, so there might be, y'all may have caps that belong to him, or there may be a sports cap that would have been significant for him as well, because I'm reminded of like the Astros, like we're just at the World Series, etc. But I'm almost reminded of something like that. So it's either like a star, like the Astros, or it's actually like the Astros, or like a team with a star on it. But there's a reference there as well. He also keeps acknowledging. I wonder if y'all, thank you. I know sometimes people, when they pass away, sometimes they'll honor them in more than one place. And I know a family where they honored their loved one was an umpire, and they honored him at a game. And they did something out on the field, or they did something out like on the game. I'm almost reminded of that. So I don't know if y'all are planning on honoring him outdoors in like an outdoor space, like a park or like a field, or if there's something like planting a tree for him that's going to be like honoring him outdoors as well, because there might be more than one place where he'll be honored, but there's something there that he's making reference to, because he's bringing that into my mind. Okay. 11 is also significant. So the 11th of a month or November is also connected. Hey, Robin Sellers. Hey, darling. Do you see me changing jobs? And if so, will it be in the same field? I feel like I would say yes, it is in the same industry or field, but not the same kind of job. And what I mean by that, like for example, like let's say if someone was a teacher and they worked at a school and then they decided they were going to work in the administrative side of things, or they were going to work, on a different part of it and not be the actual teacher. Like it's almost like it's the same industry, but it's not the same job. So I would say it is something like that. It's in the same industry, just to feel like it's the same job though. So it's a different type of job is how I would describe it. I also feel like this might be 5 to 6 months away. So there might be the change happening in about 5 or 6 months from now. Okay. Joanne Galliardo, can you connect to my mother, Antoinette? Antoinette, and she passed in 1995. Yeah, last time I did a live, there was like an Antonia or Antoinette type of name that was trying to pop in. So it's interesting because that's not, I don't think of that as a common name. Your mom is doing this and she's showing me opening. So I don't know if you have a necklace that opens that is connected to her, or if there's a 2-part or a necklace where it's 2 pieces, but there's something like that she's making reference to. She's also acknowledging, I almost am reminded of whenever someone has like a rosary or a cross as well. So I don't know if you have a cross necklace or a rosary that's also connected to her, because she's showing me that as well. It also reminds me of like whenever someone gets like a blessed rosary, even though it may not be the most expensive rosary, but it's like a blessed rosary. So sometimes when they're blessed by like a priest, or they're blessed at a special type of like, or they're received and there's something special where it's blessed or something like that she's making reference to. She says that she comes around you with the scent of roses or flowers. So if you smell those flowers around you and nothing's causing it around you, that's her. She also says she tried to let you know she was with you when you were taking a shower one day, or when you were in the bathroom, and you might have been doing something or getting ready, but she's acknowledging that she tried to let you know she was there. You might have even got a chill or felt something right along your back, because she's making reference to this as well. She's also showing me the number 17, so the 17th of a month may be significant, or January 7th may be connected. Okay, let's go here. Remember, guys, if you're not asking a specific question and you're just asking, for something general or vague, I'm going to skip you. So you got to be specific with your question. Like if you want something from me, what is it that you want? Don't assume that I know what you're asking for, because I've got to move through these fairly quickly so I can catch up. Amy, any messages from her mom, dad, and cousin? Yeah, as far as it's interesting because with the cousin, I almost feel like I want to go like, I keep thinking of like Thelma and Louise. I don't know if this is like a male cousin or female cousin, but I'm thinking of Thelma and Louise, which would have been like 2 females. So I'm thinking that there's a reference to like another female in spirit that would be like cousin, or like that age range. But I keep thinking of Thelma and Louise. That can mean a couple of things. That can mean riding in a car, acting like, badasses and being that Thelma and Louise vibe. It could also be someone actually having some event happen where they were in the vehicle and that being connected to the situation, but there's a reference there. There also, thank you. There's a D name. I don't know if this is the cousin or if this is another person in spirit that is connected to your mom, but I keep thinking of like Donna or Donna or Diana, or there's like a name like that is connected as well. That there may be someone in spirit who's got that name as well. So just FYI with that. Mom is, she showed me the month of September. So September may be significant, or the 9th of a month may be connected. She showed me the month of May as well. So May may be significant, or the 5th of a month may be connected as well. She also keeps acknowledging 2 hearts into 1. So there might be either a picture connected to mom that has 2 hearts in 1, or there's something about 2 separate heart events, or 2 hearts that are somehow going to tie in together. Now, the only other thing that I can think of is like a locket that opens up and it's a heart, or it's like 2 pictures that are heart, like a heart, and it's like there. But those are the only 2 other things that I would associate with that. But she's making reference to that. The only other thing is February or Valentine's Day, but I'm not thinking that's what it is. I'm thinking it's more like this heart thing that she's making reference to. Birds are connected to her, specifically if you have any experiences with it's interesting because normally it's like cardinals or doves, but I'm also seeing blue jays. So blue jays or a type of blue bird might be a connection to mom as well. So keep an eye out for those, because it might be like a rare thing that may happen as well. Okay. And blue butterflies also. Yeah, Lindsay Barr. Hi, Ferny. My car was broken into and wheels stolen last night for the second time this year from here at my apartment complex. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. I'm so fed up and frustrated, and I have a baby on the way that I'm trying to save for. Do you see my financial situation being okay? So there's like a couple of layers to this, because what's happening here is part of this is, first of all, just like in general, and if you may have already done this, but like on my vehicle, on my like wheels, I have like locks on them. So if someone wants to take the truck, the wheels, they're gonna have to take the damn truck because it ain't coming off. But I would, look into that to see if you can do anything like that. If you've already done it, if you already had your wheels stolen, I would assume you've done that already. But the second part of it is, I feel like it's people who are associated with the complex where this is not, first of all, you're not the only one because this is happening as well. But someone might know who's causing this, because I almost feel like someone actually saw this happen, and it might actually be where your vehicle is parked. Okay, so let me kind of create a diagram here because I want to show you my personal stuff. But here, let's do it this way. So let's do it this way. So let's assume here that this is the building, right? And so the building is like this. And let's say the parking lot's like over here somewhere or whatever. And I almost feel like I want to go this way on the building for where the vehicle would have been. So I want to go this way. And I feel like there's a corner building or a corner location there where there might have been actually someone who reported or said something to the office. So you might want to check with the office. But I also feel like they were going to install cameras anyways because of that area in the thing. And there was already an increase. And so that may not happen again. And then there may be people who may know or be able to report, so that way you can hopefully maybe get that information to the police. With that being said, wheels are gone, you figure this out. Here's the thing. The reason why you're repeating these cycles, because at the end of the day, energetically, you might be drawing in some of these bad luck situations. The reason why you might be drawing in some of this bad luck is because you are putting a lot of pressure on yourself to be a good mother or to do the best, because you have a fear of even not being the best, or of failing your child, or of making mistakes. You're trying to make up for a lot of things in your life with this opportunity to be the mother for this child. And so a lot of extra stuff is added to this in pressure. Whenever we start to build that much pressure on a specific thing happening in our lives, what tends to happen is we run into drawing in more issues or attract more situations that make it more complicated, because we're adding energy to it out of fear, out of anxiety, out of worry, and we're acting on behalf of. And then on top of that, we're continuing to cycle into that, and it's drawing it in like a magnet. And so what I would say to you is this: you care enough about this child to go through the process of saving or just to get prepped. Already you've done a lot more than some mothers would do for their children. And so already that's a good starting point. So by default, the fact that you care for your child and you want to give them the best opportunity possible, you're a good mother. You're starting off as a good mother. So give yourself that. Secondly, I feel that you need to work on your mental state, because I do think that not just with the child, but also with the other areas of your life, you might be putting yourself through it and giving yourself too much of a hard time about the other areas of your life, with work, with finances, not doing enough for yourself, etc. So all these other things, you're just piling it in, and it's becoming a magnet for negativity. I have a friend who was also an employee of mine back in the day when I was a Starbucks store manager, and she was a single mom, but she just was stuck in these like energy cycles. And I was always trying to shake her out of it and snap her out of it, because she kept repeating the same patterns in her life. And it's a repeating pattern because she was in a relationship with some guy who was just basically using her to live at her place. And on top of that, she was living in a side of town where it wasn't like a safe area to live in anyways. I know, because I'm from the hood, so I know that territory. But the boyfriend that she broke up with him, he broke in and he took all her crap. And so she was dealing with that. And then within that week, the apartment caught on fire, and only 2 or 3 units were burnt, and it was one of hers was it, and she wasn't even home. And so she lost everything on top of losing everything, on top of losing a relationship, and so she went into this spiral of oh my God, I'm a victim of a victim. Well, yeah, you are experiencing the experience of being a victim because this just happened to you. Of course you're going to feel that way. But she kept spinning it in a way where she was almost using it to bring attention to herself to make herself feel special or significant or important. And people may think like, who would do that? People do that. People don't act stupid. People can be duplicitous and people are manipulative. And even though someone has something bad happen to them, that doesn't mean that they're not still a human being and that they're not going to, operate from a place like that. So just FYI, people, let's be real. But she was just using that as like, well, don't make me work harder because I just went through this, and don't ask me to like meet my expectations or standards for work because I just went through. So there was this whole like, I just went through this and I'm dealing with it, but now I don't want to have to do any more because I feel that I'm owed, or I feel like I deserve more. So I don't want to work as hard for you, Ferny, or I don't want to I don't want to smile or deal with things in a positive way at work, which I wouldn't expect you to smile during the week when that happened. But a week or two later, when all of us got together at work to raise money for her, to help her get into a new apartment, to have stuff, you need to have an appreciation for the rest of us that are working with your ass, because you need to have a positive, you need to feel better. That's a blessing right there. When people come together and try to do stuff for you, that is a blessing. And so that's what I'm talking about. And so sometimes people don't appreciate the blessings that they have or the things that are going on around them, even in a crappy situation. And so one exact year later, the exact same thing happened to her. She was dating a guy, completely different guy. She broke up with him. He broke into her apartment, took all her crap, and then within the month, the apartment caught on fire, and she lost her apartment. And and it was her only apartment. It was the only one that went up, but she wasn't even home, and nobody started the fire in her apartment. Like, you tell me that you're not repeating cycles. So there's some repeating cycles there. So you got to give yourself some leeway here. You're a good mother to start. Stop putting all this extra pressure on yourself because you're going to do a good job. So just remember that. Okay. I know that was like a long answer to a thing, but this is applying to a lot of this is applying to a lot of y'all who are watching this, who understand what that is that I'm talking about, who either you're that person, you're that bitch, or you're the person seeing others do that, and they may need to be called out on it so that they can stop it and get back on track with their lives. Okay. Yeah, Teresa, any messages from my dad and mom? Yes, it's interesting. I don't know if you have a garden, because I keep wanting to go outside and like be in a garden. I'm almost like seeing flowers, and I'm also seeing tomatoes. My grandfather was a huge gardener. He used to have like every tree you could think of, and he was always growing all his fruits and vegetables, so there was always a bounty with him, and he had the greenest thumb ever. But I keep thinking of that when I started to tune into them. So I don't know if you just started a garden or if they were big gardeners and there's a connection there. Dad is also acknowledging, I don't know if dad was in the military, but he's saluting. So I want to say that either your father is acknowledging the military service, or there's also another male in spirit who wants to be acknowledged because of the military service. So there's a reference there. It's funny because I keep thinking of like Vietnam. So there might be a Vietnam veteran that's also in spirit with them as well. I also keep feeling, thank you. There's a J name that would be like a longer J name, like Johnson or Jonathan or Joe. There's a Joe sounding name. It's a J-O or longer J, like Jonathan. There's a name like that they're wanting to make reference to as well. Your dad is also acknowledging, thank you. There might also be a double date or double anniversary date. You know how sometimes people will have like, they pass on their birth date month, or their death date and their anniversary date is in the same month. There's like a double date that your dad is acknowledging, and he's also bringing it up with your mom as well. Your mom your mom says she loves you. Your mom also says, thank you. She says thank you. She also says that don't worry or don't stress yourself out, like it's fine. She understands the situation. So I don't know if you were not able to do everything that you felt you needed to do right before she passed, or there was not that opportunity to say goodbye or be there, but she's acknowledging almost like you did the best, don't worry about it. So she's almost wanting to not have you worry about that as well. She's also doing this. I don't know if you have a ring that belongs to her or to them, but they're acknowledging the ring connection as well. Okay. And it might not even be the ring that you're thinking about, or the common ring. Normally, whenever people say rings, it's usually like the wedding ring. But there might be an additional ring that might be like a ruby ring, or like a different stone ring. Okay, let's go here. Beziri, hello. Do you see my health getting better? A couple of things around this. One is I do want you to pay attention to your blood pressure, and also your sodium intake might be significantly affecting your system's ability to be able to get back into balance. I also feel like you might have to go through two sets of tests to really be able to get a solid strategy to get your health back in balance. I'm not going to say that you're going to recover 100% from the condition that you're dealing with, but I do feel like you'll get into a better state or get into a balanced state, which is better than now. It might take 4 to 5 months, and it might take you having to deal with 3 separate types of doctors, but I do think that things will start to move more in that direction at that time. Also, in the next month, I want you to pay attention to your immune system, anything you can do to boost your immunity, and also really try. I don't care whether you believe it or not, whether you've been vaccinated or not. Wear a damn mask, and please be careful, because people who are vulnerable might get hit the worst, and I don't want you to be one of those people with your immune system if it's already starting to deal with other issues as well. Okay, so please be careful. It's like, I don't care about people's beliefs. I care about people being okay. That's my priority. That's my concern. I don't care what people believe. It's all about like helping people, not trying to like make a point about it at this point. Yeah, Melania. Melanie. I'm sorry, Melanie. I was like, where? Oh my God, where am I going? Getting my head out of the gutter. Melanie Padilla. My daughter is currently pregnant, and last year she had a miscarriage, and she wants a boy because she has 2 girls. Can you tell me if a boy or girl? So ultimately, she'll end up with 4. Because I feel like there's 2 more babies that are going to pop into the picture, so she needs to be prepared for that. I'm not thinking she's going to end up with 2 this time around, but I feel like there's another one after this one. Here's the thing though, I am seeing another girl, and then I'm also seeing a boy, so I do think at some point she will end up with a boy. I'm just not 100% sure it's this one. So I'm going to say this one still might be a girl, so she might need to be prepared for that, but I do think at some point she will have a boy, because I feel like it'll be 4. Okay. Yeah, Carla Zeta. My aunt died around 4 years ago. Does she want to say something to me? Yeah. So first of all, it's funny because I know you're referring to her as an aunt, but she's kind of calling you like a daughter. So I don't know if you grew up around her more often, or you were around her a lot more, but she's almost referring to you kind of like a daughter. So there's a difference there. I also feel, thank you. She almost makes me feel, I don't know if there was a lot of questions around her passing or around what actually happened when she passed away, but she's making me feel as if you could say there are questions, but she says it was still her time to go. And she also says that I wouldn't say that it wasn't intentional, but it's almost like I feel like there was either a lack of getting on top of this soon enough, or even a form of negligence, is how I would assume, because I almost feel like either it's like neglecting something or not moving quickly enough to try to get ahead of something. And that's the way she's making me feel. She also keeps acknowledging the month of May, so the month of May may be significant, or the 5th of a month may be significant. She also keeps acknowledging yellow flowers or daisies or sunflowers. So look out for the yellow flowers. That's going to be a sign from her that she's around you as well. She also, it's interesting because I don't know if there was a little bit of a disconnect between her and some of the family members, or there was like some infighting happening, or you're dealing with this right now where there's like a disconnect happening with the family. It's almost like being aware of this, but also acknowledging like just do the very best you can. And sometimes you kind of have to let people deal with the way that they're going to deal with things. She also says there's a little baby with her. I want to say there's a boy with her. So there might be a boy that's either on its way in and is waiting to be born, or there's a baby that didn't make it and she's acknowledging it as a boy. Interesting enough, she's telling me that it's a boy, because normally whenever like I see a baby in spirit, I don't always get the sex right away, or they just don't tell me. But she's talking about this baby boy in spirit, or boy in spirit. So there may be a boy in spirit that is either waiting to come in, or that has that is in spirit with her, and that is connected directly to the immediate family. Okay, let me bring somebody on because I'm running out of time here, and I want to bring y'all. I want to bring somebody on. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, sweetheart. How you doing?
Good.
Awesome, awesome. What do you want to ask me about?
Do you just have any messages from my dad?
Hmm. With your dad, the first thing I want to say, thank you. He's showing me double one. Do you know if the 11th of a month or January 1st is connected?
January 1st or 11?
Hmm. Or
No,
November?
for
November.
November.
Hmm. Yeah. So the
Mm-mm.
double 11, the double one is going to be either the month of November being significant, birth date, anniversary, death date. So the number 11 is
November.
going to.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
I
okay.
don't
Just
know.
remember this to that. The number 11, which means November or the 11th of a month or January 1st, because that's the only way that number can fit into a date. So that's one. He also keeps repeating his name twice. Do you know if he also shares his name with someone else in the family?
They used to call him Paw Paw. Is that what he's saying?
Mm-mm. He's repeating his. I almost want to say I'm not hearing the name, but he's repeating as if there's a double name. So, do
A
you know if there's
double
another
name.
person in the family who has the same name as him or middle name?
No.
Okay, there is, because he's saying
Paw,
yes. So I'm going to say there's another male in the family, either before him, who has his name and they share the name together, and that may be his way of letting us know who's with them, or someone has come after him who's got his name. But he's acknowledging
okay,
a shared name. So there's a reference there. And if it's not the first name, it's the middle name, because he's
the
acknowledging.
middle name.
He just said junior, so he's definitely repeating it. So as if there's like another person. So I'll leave that with you. He also keeps it. Thank you. He's doing this. Do you know if there's a military connection or if he served in the
He
military?
used to be a police officer and do the Marine and Port Division.
Perfect. So he's acknowledging the military association, a military connection. He keeps laughing. Do you know if one of his buddies or close buddies is also passed or with him?
Is one of his buddies passed or also with him?
You know what? You know what? Remember earlier when I was saying about the double name? It would not surprise me if he shared the same name with a friend, and there was a
With a
joke about it.
friend.
So
Okay.
again, because it's very possible I'm misinterpreting that, but I'll leave that with you because you're gonna have to think about it.
Uh-huh.
He also keeps thank you. Honey. Is there a reference to a nickname like Honey or
Honey?
that's very.
Honey?
Hmm. Is there a nickname or a reference to someone where they went by Honey or there's a Honey joke?
Uh, he said sweetie a lot, not honey.
Mm. He's showing me. I'm seeing bees, so he's saying honey. So he's referring to this as honey. So the only other thing I can think of is he's either talking about honey, the actual food honey, and there
Uh-huh.
being a significance there, or there's a nickname honey that he's making reference to or acknowledging as well. He just said, thank you. Is there also a Bob or a Bill name reference?
A Bob is his brother,
Okay, yeah. See, this is
Bobby.
all. So here's what's going on. So is Bobby also passed?
No.
Okay. So what he's trying to tell me is he's trying to give me information about himself, but there's someone with him who is also wanting to be acknowledged. And I want to say the person with him. Oh gosh, how many people do you have with you? There's a male with him that I want to say is a buddy or a friend, and then there's a female who also passed, who's also there as well, who may have had a type of cancer or breast cancer or chest cancer. But he's also acknowledging the Bobby or the Billy name as well. If that's his brother who's alive, he's wanting to acknowledge his brother and say hello to him. And he also just said happy birthday. Are we within 30 days right now of a birthday?
Of a birthday. 30 days within a birthday. My brothers were both of my brothers is in like late December or early
Okay.
January.
Okay, so late December. So if your brother's birthday is within a few weeks, he's probably wishing them a happy birthday or acknowledging them and a happy birthday as well. Question, did y'all toast him or did y'all do a drink to him?
Did we do a toast to Dad? We didn't do a toast to Dad, did we? I don't believe so. I'm sorry.
That's okay. This is why these are recorded, because in the moment people are like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Ferny. That's okay. Go back to the recording and like listen to what I said. He's doing this. So I want to say either there's an association with either doing a toast to him, toasting a drink to him, or this might have been a part of what affected his system and led to some of the issues in his body. But he's doing this, so there's a reference that. So either there's a significance to a toast or a drink, y'all have something special with his drink thing, or there's something in the body that he's wanting to make a reference to with this.
Okay.
There's 2 babies with him in spirit as well. So there's 2 babies that were miscarried, lost, or terminated that he's also wanting to acknowledge for y'all as well.
Okay. Do you know any idea like who or?
I would assume that there's 2 miscarriages or terminations or babies that didn't make it, and they're direct immediate family. So it would be within the close family. It wouldn't be like your brother's uncle's sister's cousin's friend. It's like it's like immediate family. Okay.
Okay.
All right, sweetheart. Go back over the recording because some of what I'm saying you may not understand it now. Go back over. It'll start to click into place.
Are you able to ask him anything, or?
I can if you want me to.
His password to his phone?
Girl, let's see.
Like.
Funny. So I'm asking him that, and he's showing me the color green, and then I feel like I'm thinking of a sports thing. Did your dad like sports?
Yes, he used to do motocross.
Okay, there's a reference to a team with a green coloring into it, or like Green Bay, or there's like a sports thing to it, because I saw the color green and then the sports, and I was trying to figure out where he's going with that, but he's trying to like put them together for me. So that would be connected to the password.
Okay.
All right, sweetheart. You take care of yourself, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, darling.
Bye.
All right, let's go to somebody else. Let's see. Let's go here. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. There's before you ask me, there's an older male in spirit who is above you in age. So I want to say this is an older male to you, or this is, and he's passed away. He also makes me feel like there might have been some issues with his respiratory system or his breathing that might have been part of his condition. I almost feel like it's this idea of like when the lungs become impacted or affected by like a condition or disorder. So he's making me reference this as well. He also keeps acknowledging the number 13. So the 13th of a month would be significant or be connected in some way as well.
Uh-huh.
So do you have an older male, lungs or respiratory that was affected?
No.
Might have even been a smoker. So just so you know, this is a male who might have even been a smoker.
Oh, well, my dad was.
Okay. And your dad's passed?
Yes.
Okay. So your dad was a smoker. He's passed away. Do you know if he was having difficulty catching his breath or being able to breathe towards the before he passed away?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay. Do you also know thank you. Do you know the 13th of a month or January the 3rd is connected?
January 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Or the 13th of a month?
13th. No.
Okay.
Nothing.
Remember that I said that because he's showing me that 13th number is significant. So there's a reference there.
Okay.
He also keeps it. Thank you. He also keeps acknowledging. Was your dad not the most, I wouldn't say affectionate, but the most emotionally expressive person?
No, he was not.
Got it. Because he's wanting to apologize because he makes me feel like he didn't do enough to build those connections or to work on building that fatherly connection with the family. So he's almost making me feel like he feels like he needs to apologize for not being expressive enough or connecting on that level. Uh-huh. He also says he does love you. So he wants you to make sure you understand that. But he didn't always know how to deal with things or cope with things in life. So he wasn't always able to deal with things. So he's apologizing for this. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
He's also acknowledging if he was difficult with people or if he made things challenging for others, he is apologizing for this as well. He also says that some of the rumors or some of the things that people may have said about him are true and that he's not going to run away from it anymore.
Wow.
Okay.
That's weird.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that you got it. So I don't know what he's talking about, but as long as you understand, that's really all that matters to me. So.
Okay.
All right, Mama. What did you want to ask me about?
Oh, I wanted to ask you, I've been having some trouble with work.
Mm-hmm.
And I work for a skin doctor.
Yeah.
And so
with the doctor, do you know?
It's like a toxic. He's like a toxic person.
Oh no, it's okay. Do you know if he has 2 locations or he goes between 2 locations?
No.
Okay.
Well, he used to have 2 locations, but not now. He only has 1.
Got it. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. It would not surprise me if within 3 to 4 months there's an announcement that there's going to be another location again, and it might actually be in collaboration with another organization or with another doctor. The thing about it is, I feel with you that you're still going to be dealing with this and with him for another 4 or 5 months before there's a major change. I actually think things will get easier once this other location opens up, because at some point he may no longer be as involved with the part of the business that you're in, and another doctor may come in and also be working out of that location as well.
Okay. Wow.
So you're going to be dealing with like a little bit of a shuffle there. So you might have to deal with him less, and you might have a new doctor coming in about 5 or 6 months, which might be a little bit easier to deal with. It's a female, by the way, the doctor that's coming in.
Right. Okay.
Okay. If you wanted to change jobs, I feel like if you wanted to change jobs, I can't see you finding something until early 2023, which is a bit of like a year from now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yes.
If they give you a chance to take a break in May, take the break, because you may get really busy after that, and you may wish you would have taken that time off.
Right. Let me ask you this. Do you feel my mom? I mean,
with your mom, question.
Yeah.
With your mom, she's pointing to her head. Do you know if she was having difficulty with her brain function or with her ability to comprehend things?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She also keeps acknowledging the timing of her passing. Do you know if she passed either around a date of significance, like a birthday or a holiday?
On her birthday, she was probably maybe 2 days before her birthday.
Because she's acknowledging that. She also keeps acknowledging. It's interesting. I'm seeing spaghetti. I don't know why. Do you know? I don't know. Did your mom like pasta or spaghetti?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why she's showing me pasta or spaghetti, but she's showing me that, so there's a reference there. Mm-hmm. She's also showing me the Wizard of Oz. Do you know if she liked the Wizard of Oz?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I'm seeing the Wizard of Oz. For me, whenever I see the Wizard of Oz, it either means the name Dorothy, ruby red jewelry, or the name. It could also be what's her name? Judy. So do you know there's a reference to the name Dorothy, Judy, or red ruby jewelry?
Well, I know one of her family member was Dorothy.
Okay, so she might just be acknowledging being with. Is Dorothy passed?
I don't think so. I don't.
There's a Dorothy with her. So I'll leave that with you, because there actually might be 2 Dorothys, just so you know. There's a Dory or Doris and then a Dorothy. So she might be acknowledging more than one person, but she's acknowledging someone there, and she's giving me that Wizard of Oz reference. So either that's connected to them or that's connected to your mom. So I'll leave that with you, because you might have to think about that. Also, red cardinals are from your mom. So when you see the red birds or the cardinals, that is your mom. So she's acknowledging her. She also, thank you. Do you still have her recipes, or like a book of these different recipes, or breads?
No.
She's showing me a card or something that reminds me of it's either bread related food, like stuffing, breads, or cakes or something like this. So she's making reference.
Yeah, she did cakes and stuff.
Okay. So it's do you know if she had recipes, or she had saved, even if she didn't make them, but she had them collected?
No, I mean, I don't think she really did with the cookbooks or anything like that.
No, it wouldn't be like a cookbook. It's just a bunch of recipes that she had together. It's almost like there's a bunch of little papers and cards that she would have had, and they would have been, and some of them weren't even hers. Some of them were passed down, but she kept them, even though she may not have done them herself, because she's acknowledging these cards or recipes.
Okay.
Question. Wait a minute. Question. Who in the family made those cakes? You know, where you put the little dolls or little monitos on them, and then they're white and look like dresses? Who in the family was making that at some point?
God, I don't. I don't.
There's a picture. There's even pictures. What they're showing me is back when I was a kid, and my tia Victoria, she had made my sister a cake, and it was a Barbie doll, and she made the actual cake like a dress. So there's a picture of this that we have. She's showing me that. So there's a picture of a cake that was like a dress that someone either made, or that someone was into that kind of stuff. She's tying that into the recipe thing. So either this is your mom telling me about this female in spirit.
You know what? I have a sister. She does cakes and everything. And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So there's a reference there. So your mom is acknowledging recipes are like a stack of something, where if your sister has these, that may be what she's referring to, or this is another person in the family who may have had these, and your sister may have them. But there's a reference. Thank you. They're going back to my aunt's name. Is there a Virginia or Victoria name?
Yeah, my mom had a sister named Victoria.
Yeah, there's more to it. So what I would say is you need to do a little bit of digging, because she's acknowledging all these other pieces. We're not understanding it in the moment, but there's more to what I'm saying about these like stack of cards or recipes or things. She may not have made these things, but she kept them or she had.
Right.
So I'll leave that with you, and hopefully that'll make sense to you. She's with you, sweetheart, though.
Yes. Thank you so much. I really
You're,
appreciate it.
you're welcome, darling. You take care of yourself, okay?
You too. You be safe. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, it is time, and I'm out of time. So I will be back on here in about 5 minutes because we still have our study group time. So I'm gonna be back in about 5 minutes, okay? All right, guys, I love you all, and I will be